Good evening, everybody, once again, and I want to thank you all for tuning in to this week's edition of Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly, presented by Team FYN Sports here on FYNTV.com. And if you're tuning in on the FYN TV app, I want to thank you all for tuning in on those various platforms, and just continue to do that and support not just Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly, but Inside the SMC and the North Georgia High School Kickoff Show as well. Those are going to be coming up back to back after this show concludes here in about an hour. So, again, well, thank you all for tuning in this week once again. And as you can see, our graphic here, another edition of the 97 Sports Promotions Performance of the Week Award. That winner will be announced in the final segment of tonight's show. So definitely tune in for that. We had several good nominees, both offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football. So definitely tune in for that, and we'll see who is going to be coming home with the custom mini helmet trophy that 97 Sports Promotions and Doug Carter is putting up for every week this year. So I want to thank him and the team at 97 Sports Promotions once again for providing those and being the sponsor of the Performance of the Week. So, but coming up later tonight, our normal weekly guest, Patrick McCoon from the Chattanooga Times Free Press, is feeling under the weather this evening. So I hope Patrick gets better. I know he's going to be at a couple of games coming up tonight and tomorrow night on Friday as well. So looking forward to running into him, and hopefully he's back going and he's back with us next week. But in segment number 2, going to be joined by the host of the Inside the SMC show here on Team FYN Sports, and that is Jake West, who's also the sports director for Team FYN Sports. So we'll kind of talk high school football, talk a little bit of Murphy football. They got a big game coming up this week, traveling to South Pittsburgh. We'll just talk to him about that. He knows Murphy better than anybody I know, and just kind of talk about Team FYN Sports and kind of how that operation goes. And yeah, we'll have some fun for sure diving into some high school football. But I guess let's just go ahead and dive into the week 3 scoreboard here. If we could just pull up the slide number 3 there, dive into these games. A lot of interesting games last week, as you can see on our screen here. The Baylor Red Raiders kept things going against Knox Catholic, and they got a big 48-9 win at Baylor last week. So Caleb Hampton, Whit Muschamp, who was our Performance of the Week winner last week, and company are definitely keeping that momentum going. And I know they got a few games left before that big showdown here at the end of September against McCallie, but that showdown against McCallie is looming large, and we'll see if they're able to keep things going leading into that matchup. But anyway, as we can see right here, Bledsoe County, what a crazy game that was. 17-14 victory over Meigs County. That was a big region game for both of those teams. And Bledsoe got the big win there and start the season off 1-0 in region play. So, and then speaking of another region matchup that everybody's looking forward to, Bradley Central Cleveland, right? Not just a region matchup, but a battle for county pride in Bradley County. And after Bradley Central got the win last week against Walker Valley, that 1-point victory for the Bradley Central Bears, they came back and got the Bradley County sweep, defeating Cleveland 16-10. So that's definitely a big win for Coach Damon Floyd's squad right there. And just looking through the rest of these right here, Boyd Buchanan going on the road, taking on CAK, coming back home with a 28-7 win. Central with a big win over Saudi Daisy, 26-6. And just if you can see right through here, Silverdale and CCS with a big 20-plus point victory there against the Seahawks. East Hamilton keep things rolling. They're back on track, shutting up East Ridge 38-zip. So, Hickson, one of the bigger surprises through the first 3 weeks of the season, they went to 2-1 with a 35-14 defeat of Sequoia. Howard defeated Kings Academy 12. Jackson County defeated Sale Creek. I call it a baseball score, as you can see right here. Yes, that score is legit. It was a 7-2 victory for Jackson County over the Sale Creek Panthers. And the final one on this list, Brainerd dropping this really close game to Kingston 17-14, and they have a matchup with Tyner coming up this week. So looking to see if they rebound and able to come out and see how they do against Coach Chandler's squad. But let's move on to the next slide and kind of end our week 3 scoreboard here. Knox Webb, not really surprising. Webb's pretty good. shutting out Notre Dame 42-0. Kind of not the big surprise if people know what NBA had. Macaulay 18-game winning streak snapped at the hands of NBA 23-20 over at Macaulay last Friday night, and nothing to be worried about if you're a supporter of the Blue Tornado. NBA has had these opportunities in the last few years to sneak up on teams and may not defeat them, but at least give them a scare. And they definitely show that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in that region in the Division II AAA classification of high school football here in Tennessee. So. And the McMinn County schools looked good. Central defeated Signal Mountain 17-14. That was a game where Signal Mountain turned the ball over several times, and McMinn Central was able to hang on and get. That was a huge reason win. So congrats to Coach Moody and the McMinn Central Chargers on his win or his team's victory over Signal Mountain. Like I said, big region win to get their season started off good. Right, McMinn County kind of, I guess, the surprising. Game of the weekend as far as like the way they're able to kind of shut down Ray County's wing T offense, getting the win 43-14. I guess not surprising that McMinn County got the win. It's just the amount of points they put up and that they beat Ray County by. So definitely a huge win there for Coach Cagle's squad, and looking good in that Class 5A region. There's 5 teams in that region, of course, and the top 4 of each region make the playoffs. So every region win is it's big in every region, but especially in this one where you lose one game, you could be out of the playoffs. So definitely, like I said, a huge win for the McMinn County Cherokees, getting off to a good start in region play over Ray County. And let's see here, Sequatchie County 41-19 victors over Cannon County. And Lookout Valley got blanked by South Pittsburgh. South Pittsburgh getting shut out last week by CCS returns the favor against Lookout Valley in region play 62-0. And Polk County, we talked about Coach Davis coming back and the Wildcats getting off to a good start. Well, they stay unbeaten, defeated Tellico Plains 48-26. Walker Valley defeated Ottawa 35-13 at Ottawa this past Friday. It was the first win that Walker Valley had against Ottawa at James M. Monroe Stadium, and the first time in school history that Walker Valley beat Ottawa back-to-back. So congratulations to Coach Akins. He's built that program 4 years in now, and I'm sure we'll have him on at some point this year. But last year he was telling us that it's not setting new records or achieving new things. It's setting new expectations, and I'm sure he's definitely going to say that about this as well. And two more shutouts here to end our Week 3 scoreboard. Whitwell with the 50-0 win over Copper Basin. They had a strong start to the year. I think they're 3-0 for the first time since their 2018 state championship run. So definitely congratulations to the Whitwell Tigers on a good start and a 50-0 shellacking of Copper Basin. And then the game right here, the Tyner 41-0 victory over Marion County. This is the game I was at. This is the game Patrick was at as well last week. And two teams in the region, like we mentioned with Bledsoe County and Meigs, taking each other on. Tyner and Marion County faced off at Tyner. Marion County actually shut out Tyner last year, so kind of a role reversal there with Tyner getting the big win. And one thing that Patrick had in his article, wish he was here to tell us about that, but one thing was one good thing in his article in the Chattanooga Times Free Press was Coach Chandler told his team that if they shut out Marion County, they would get wings. I think it's like 500 wings. So Coach Chandler, get ready to open up the pocketbook to feed those guys, because I'm sure he'll do that because it was a big win, big region win, and they stay undefeated too. So we have some highlights from that game. We'll kind of play that as we're kind of diving into this a little bit. Really just I guess the main thing from this game is just really the tone that was set in the first half, right? So it was a 14-0 lead. Tyner got two short yardage touchdown runs on Marion County in the first quarter. And really, I guess the turning point in this game where Tyner really, put the hammer down and kind of took it to Marion County was 2 back-to-back interception returns for touchdowns in the second quarter. I mean, back-to-back possessions, 2 INTs for touchdowns. So Trey Ruffin and Rayshawn Hinton, the 2 Tyner Ram defenders who got those interception returns for touchdowns in the second quarter there. They definitely, on that first one especially, they got that and they ran it back. And the clip just before this Jackson touchdown was the Hinton pick 6 for a touchdown. So Tyner has a lot of weapons, not just offensively, but defense is nasty as well. And just keeping things, the way they've been doing it the whole year. I mean, I think they've given up probably not even a total of 10 or 14 points. I have to go back and look at my stats, but yeah, they really, the Ram train is definitely rolling. They call themselves a Ram train for a reason. They move fast, they play hard, they play fast, and it definitely shows. And they are definitely looking strong and looking to be right now through 3 weeks the team to beat in that region 2A region right there. Like I mentioned, with them, Meigs County, Bledsoe County, and a Marion County team right there as well. So congratulations once again to Tyner. They definitely are getting things rolling. And just reading something right here that Patrick had, Ruffin, that first interception was something that really showed out to me. I was standing in the end zone where he was coming at, and you could tell as soon as that ball came out of the quarterback's hand for Marion County, he jumped it like instantly. So he knew it was coming, and obviously, he mentioned it in his post game interview with Patrick, saying that the film study definitely played off, knew it was coming, and took that thing 35 yards to the house, and it was 21-0. A minute into the second quarter. So I think that right there set the tone for the rest of the game, and they definitely showed. And, like we talked about last couple of weeks, Josh Jackson having really good numbers. He didn't have his almost 300-yard performance, but he had 174 passing yards, and 90 of those. So think about this: 90 of those 174 passing yards came on a touchdown in the second half. So that's crazy that half of those yards, over half those yards, came on that one play. But Josh Jackson's a really good quarterback, and he's going to put up some numbers too, because that region right there is going to have tough defense, but they're going to have plenty of opportunities too to put up numbers, and we'll see if they're able to hold each other in check. But again, congratulations once again to Coach Chandler's squad for getting that win and moving on 3-0. But week 4 here, we'll definitely look through some of these interesting matchups here. A couple of these games have been moved to Thursday, as you can see. Obviously, Boyd Buchanan taking on Howard. That's a non-region game at Howard. And Marion County at Bradley Central, that's actually going to be taking place on Thursday. And so, they've a couple of these games have been moved with the possibility of some severe weather on Friday night. So we'll definitely see how that goes. But the first one of those is the McMahon County Bradley Central. Now, that's a non-region game, a 5A school, and McMahon taking on Bradley Central in 6A. So, but I think that's going to be a really close game. That's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on Friday. It's a hard thing to say that, right? Everything's on Friday, but on Thursday night. So I think that's definitely one of the 5 games I think you should definitely keep an eye on going into this week 4 schedule. But just rattle the rest of these off. Brainerd taking on Tyner. We mentioned Tyner, being undefeated. We'll see if Brainerd's able to kind of recoup from their loss last week and going on the road taking on a really strong Tyner Rams football team. This is the game right here, a region game. Both teams 1-0 in the region, 2-1 overall. Central at Hickson. That's the game that I'm going to be at for the Coca-Cola Red Zone game of the week, and Patrick's going to be there as well. So we'll definitely have a lot to talk about with this game. Both teams off to a good start. Coach Owensby's squad 2-1. They've had some really tough years there at Hickson and Central. Coach Jones coming back a few years ago. They've gotten things turned around as well. So that game should be a very interesting and very competitive region game over there at Hickson High School. So we're looking forward to going over and seeing those guys. It's been a while. So, and just reading off a few of these right here. CCS at Harding Academy. East Ridge going on the road to take on Cleveland. East Hamilton hosting Sequoia. Grundy County going to Bledsoe after Bledsoe's big win against Meigs County last Friday night. Hayesville, North Carolina, taking on Lookout Valley at Lookout Valley. So we'll see if the Yellow Jackets are able to regroup and rebound from last week's shutout against South Pittsburgh. And Chattanooga Prep taking on Easel Harding. And here's an interesting matchup, another border war. There's a couple of these involving North Carolina and Georgia schools coming into Tennessee to take on some of our local teams. Dade County taking on Marion County. And as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I think we might have mentioned it last week too, but, Dade County took on South Pittsburgh last year at Dade County. They got a win there, so we'll see if they're able to kind of go back-to-back and knocking off Marion County schools, but this time going over to Jasper to take on the Marion County Warriors and really kind of see if Coach Starkey's squad is able to get to rebound after the loss to Tyner last week. And, that's a good thing, right? I mean, if you get shut out, especially on the road, there's nothing like going home and taking on a team in your own environment and kind of getting motivated to do that way. So that's another game on my list of 5 to keep an eye on, Dade County at Marion County. So let's move on to the last slide here of the Week 4 schedule if you can. West Broward out of Florida taking on McCallie. Once again, another same situation. Can McCallie rebound at home after dropping that game to NBA last week? So we'll see how Coach Potter's squad does. They got plenty of talent. It wouldn't surprise me one bit to see them, take it to Broward. But I don't know much about West Broward and Florida, but we'll definitely see how that goes on Friday. Meigs County at Signal Mountain, another non-region interesting game. I think that's another one on my list of 5 to watch. You'll see these posted on our at SETN Weekly Twitter page coming up here in the next couple of days. So that way you'll be ready to rock and roll on Friday night. So Polk County and McMinn Central, here's an interesting region game, I believe, right here. So, for Coach Davis and Coach Moody's teams, they're kind of a couple teams that have flown under the radar to begin this young 2022 season. Definitely one to keep your eye on, and it could be the difference between hosting a first round playoff game or going on the road. That's what a lot of these region games are. The top 2 teams in each region host in that first round, and the bottom 2 of that region of that qualify have to hit the road. So all these region games early on, especially early on, definitely is huge games for these teams. But CW Chattanooga game that's going to be broadcast locally in Chattanooga has Red Bank at Saudi Daisy. That's a classic historical, the battle for Highway 27, if you're familiar with that, because that runs from downtown Chattanooga to Saudi Daisy and beyond. So we're interested to see Coach Gatewood taking on Coach Carwell's team there at Daisy. That should be a good atmosphere. Both those teams, like I said, a lot of history there with Coach Weathers, and just a ton of great players, a ton of great memories, and we'll see definitely how that goes between those 2 teams. Ray County looking to bounce back, going on the road, taking on a very good Anderson County team, and that's going to be a tall order. But with the wing tee, if that thing's running efficiently and without many mistakes, I think that's definitely something that they need to see if they can rebound right there. Sale Creek going on the road, taking on Harriman. Jackson County is going to Dunlap to take on Sequatchie County. Silverdale is going to be hosting Lakeway Christian, looking to bounce back after the loss to CCS last week. And the second of the 2 Thursday night games, Carter at Walker Valley. Carter's a team out of the Knoxville area coming to Walker Valley to take on the Mustangs in a Thursday night tilt. And the second of the 2 border games that I have my eye on, Murphy, North Carolina, 10-time North Carolina state champion, taking on South Pittsburgh at South Pitt. So if you want to see a collection of talent and 2 historical programs, I recommend going to South Pittsburgh on Friday night. See a great atmosphere, see 2 historical teams in their own states hitting the gridiron and facing each other. So that should be a great atmosphere between 2 really good teams. But anyway, we're getting ready to take our first quick commercial break here. And on the flip side, like I mentioned earlier in this segment, we're going to be joined by Jake West. He is the sports director at Team FYN Sports. We'll dive into this Murphy, North Carolina, South Pittsburgh matchup, in addition to kind of get some more information about Team FYN Sports and the content that it creates. So, again, you're tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. This is Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly, presented by Team FYN Sports. We'll be right back.
97 Sports Promotions specializes in custom football mini helmets for any occasion. From gifts, player awards, banquet decor, and more, 97 Sports Promotions has you covered. And coaches, if you're looking for premium full-size decals for your game day helmets, the team at 97 Sports Promotions can do that too. Visit 97sportspromotions.com or call 865-318-1242. 97 Sports Promotions, proud sponsor of the Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly Performance of the Week.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
Chattanooga Funeral Home, Crematory, and Florist, a dignity memorial provider, has been dedicated to service since 1933. With 4 funeral home locations, including East Chapel in East Ridge, North Chapel in Hickson, Valley View Chapel in Ottawa, and East Brainerd Chapel in East Brainerd, along with 2 cemeteries at Hamilton Memorial Gardens on Highway 153 in Hickson and Chattanooga Memorial Park in Red Bank. Call 423-698-2541 or visit their website at ChattanoogaFuneralHome.com. Celebrate your life or that of a loved one with a funeral and memorial service befitting the life lived. Chattanooga Funeral Home, Crematory, and Florist.
Are you looking for expertly decorated gifts you'll love with your custom design or logo? Graphic Expressions in Blue Ridge is your go-to place for custom apparel, accessories, gifts, and much more. Graphic Expressions is located at 3640 East 1st Street in Blue Ridge, or give them a call at 706-946-4605. Graphic Expressions, unrivaled customer service, pure brand awesomeness.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Gary Thacker Insurance is a family-owned and locally operated insurance agency that has been proudly serving North Georgia and the Chattanooga area for 25 years. If you're looking for an agency that is family-oriented, lives and works in your community, and is focused on making insurance less complicated, give my friend Jeremy Thacker and the team at Gary Thacker Insurance a call at 706-866-8283 or visit them on the web at GaryThackerInsurance.com. Gary Thacker Insurance, protecting what's important. Welcome back to Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly. I want to thank you all once again for tuning in to this week. You can follow Twitter account at SETN Weekly for just different areas of content from, games that are, myself and Patrick McCoon are at, or just anything going on in our Southeast Tennessee high school football region. So I just want to be just pleased to be joined by Jake West. He is the sports director at Team FYN Sports. And Jake, how's it going tonight, my man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm better now that I'm not muted, but I'm good. Good. Ready for some high school football here tomorrow night.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I was going to say, we'll call that the Tim Tao mute right there for sure. We'll definitely let's be sure to leave him on mute as the North Georgia High School kickoff show comes on here coming up around 8 o'clock. So, but anyway, I guess, before we dive into a few things, Team FYN Sports, and just sitting around and talking a little ball, anything kind of surprising you in your neck of the woods, or because I know Murphy's coming over here to take on South Pittsburgh, so I guess we'll kind of dive into that game a little bit. You know Murphy better than anybody, so kind of give us your thoughts on what South Pittsburgh is going to be facing come Friday night.
Well, I think and I could be completely wrong, but this is just what I've gathered from people that have talked to me about that may know South Pittsburgh, is that South Pittsburgh is not really used to the ground and pound kind of physicality, run the ball, 60 times a game that they might see on Friday night. That's Murphy's bread and butter. But on the flip side of that, Murphy is not used to the spread, um, throw the ball around, pass for 300 yards every Friday night kind of offense that South Pittsburgh brings to the table. So I think it's two schools that, well, I mean, we might see a ton of points scored because I'm not sure if either one of them knows exactly the best way to defend the other.
Yeah, I think it's, I could be totally off here too, but I think it's safe to say that the Mercy rule will be in the back pocket for on Friday. I think this game is not going to be a blowout one way or the other. I don't think, but I think, like you said, I could see both teams putting up a bunch of points at South Pittsburgh on Friday, and I guess I don't know if you've been able to kind of work it out if y'all are going to make it, but do you expect the Murphy faithful to bring a bunch of people over to South Pittsburgh Friday?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll travel pretty well. I mean, it's not really all that far from Murphy, even though we're in two different states. But I actually think just this matchup, looking at it from a kind of a broad spectrum, I really wish it would have been able to be played last year because I think both teams, just as a whole, were much better last year, and they would have been able to put out a better product on the field. But I mean, I could be wrong at least about South Pittsburgh, and they could be even better this year than they were last year. But I just think talent wise, both of these teams last year were much better. But so it's a shame that it was taken out of play last year. But nonetheless, I mean, these two teams, just the history that surrounds this game and surrounds both these teams is crazy. It's crazy that they've never played before, just how close they are. And it seems like, if South Pittsburgh was in North Carolina, that they would be, they would be Murphy. And if Murphy was in Tennessee, they would be South Pittsburgh. I mean, different play styles, but still, obviously neither team is a stranger to the state championship game in their respective states. So, I mean, just the history that surrounds it. And also, I mean, both teams seem to kind of be in the same place because I think, if I'm not mistaken, South Pittsburgh's gone through a coaching change just recently, and so has Murphy.
Yeah, last year was they had hired a coach who was a South Pittsburgh guy, came back from the professional ranks in Canada, and then like a few games into the season, I don't know if you remember this, Jake, but he left to go back to get another job up there, and so it was Heath Grider.
Kiffin right in the middle of the night, huh?
No comment on that. I know you're a Tennessee fan like me, so we'll definitely leave that as is. But really, that was a situation too where even though it ended with a state championship for the Pirates, they were really kind of the underdogs, I guess, just because they went through a coaching change early in the season, and the guy who's at the helm now, Wes Stone, he got the job this past year as the full-time coach, but he was splitting the interim coaching job with Heath Grider. And if anybody around South Pittsburgh knows the last name Grider, that's Vic's family right there. So I mean, they were able to kind of keep everything together, keep things going, and wound up winning a state championship. Not that far from their home and their turf. So if I would classify this game, I guess would be the trophy case game on Friday, right? So I think it's 16 state championships between both of these teams. So like I said earlier, if you're looking for just a matchup that you don't see all the time, that has tradition, that has history, I mean, look no further than this game on Friday. I hope you can make it, and I hope people traveling from Murphy can make the trip out there because it's definitely one of our more unique high school football environments in the Chattanooga area for sure.
Yeah, actually, I am going to be making the trip. We're going to have the game on fyntv.com, so we'll be broadcasting it there from South Pittsburgh. But if you don't care, Jeff, I'd just like to touch on some of the individuals that maybe, if you are going to be at this game on Friday night, at least from the Murphy side, that's whose name you're going to be hearing over the loudspeaker.
Oh my goodness! I mean, if you're looking just at, if you're looking for, players that are, just are going to stick out to you. I mean, if you look at, top to bottom, it doesn't matter, who it is. You're going to see guys like a Hunter who, and just, guys. The main thing is just you look at the output that South Pittsburgh had last Friday night. They dropped a tough game against CCS in week number 2. Right, it was the first time that South Pitt had been shut out since 2011. So let me just preface it by saying that. So that was a rare night there for South Pittsburgh's offense. But they rebounded in their first region game. to take on Lookout Valley, a 62-0 win. So, like you said, a lot of points will be put up right there. But I think defense. I think the defense. It depends. Whoever can control the line of scrimmage, especially up front. I think it's just like you're not gonna be able to stop each other. I don't think in this game. Right? If you can just kind of contain and have even an average output, just allowing average yards on defense, I think that's definitely going to win the game. But what about Murphy? You think that's kind of replace that as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the name of the game for Murphy is that wing T, kind of run the football, be very physical. They do have a very good quarterback in Cole Laney. He's a senior. This is his first year starting as a senior. But, I mean, you can tell that he's young just in – obviously not young in classification, but young in snaps. Through 2 games, he's thrown 3 picks that have been kind of just, if he was in trouble and he could have tucked it and ran for a couple yards, but instead of picking up a few yards, he tried to force something, and it ended up being a turnover. So, I mean, you mentioned the mercy rule being out of the question. I think that's the case too, but, I mean, this Murphy team is very young. Once again, not in classification, but just in varsity snaps. Murphy graduated a lot of 4-year, 3-year starters last year. And so, I mean, they make a lot of silly mistakes, at least they have through the first couple games. But their lead back on the ground is going to be Ty Laney. He's over 200 yards on the year already, averaging 100 yards a game. Still hasn't found the end zone yet, but his counterpart and his running mate, Hunter Stalkup, he's a junior, number 28, and he can hurt you on the ground or through the air. He's the number 1 wide receiver for Murphy when they do put the ball in the air. He's ran the ball 11 times for 105 yards, so pretty good clip, running at a pretty good click there, 9.5 yards per carry. He found the end zone twice. The only 2 scores Murphy had 2 weeks ago against Commerce. Murphy was off last week, so South Pittsburgh's definitely going to get their best shot because they've been prepping for this game for a while. But I mean, the 3-headed monster out of the backfield is Ty Laney, who is Cole Laney, the quarterback's twin brother, Hunter Stalkup, and then the bruiser, John Ledford. John Ledford missed last season with an ACL injury that occurred during when North Carolina decided to do that spring season for whatever reason during COVID. He was injured then, so he had to miss last fall. But as far as whose name you're going to hear over the loudspeaker, it's probably going to be a heavy mix of those guys, including defensively. But the defense, the biggest spot that I'm worried about and looking forward to seeing how they're going to play is when Hunter Stalkup moves back into the safety spot. Wyatt Simmons, when he's back there, Cameron Grooms, Jonah Hedden, just a sophomore, he's starting at corner. I mean, this Murphy secondary is really going to be tested, more so than maybe they ever have been.
Yeah, and if you're, it's interesting you said that about the secondary and stuff. I know that, South Pittsburgh quarterback Logan Hargis, he had a somewhat, 50-50 not a couple weeks ago against CCS. I don't think he even cracked 100 yards. He went 13-26. But, he's a consistent player. But another guy I think that they're going to rely on in this game as far as South Pittsburgh offensively is a guy by the name of Ray Cash Kelly. I can't believe I forgot this guy's name. I was looking to see what his first name was. I knew the name Kelly, but Ray Cash Kelly. You'll definitely see a healthy mix of run and pass, but I think it depends. If Hargis can be protected up front and able to find plays down the field, I think that's definitely going to be a big key for South Pittsburgh. And so, I mean, if you get a healthy dose of Ray Cash Kelly and able to get Hargis going and getting the football down the field and not getting sacked and having turnovers, I think he didn't have a touchdown, but he had turnovers. And, last week, like I mentioned, I mean, Lookout Valley is not the team that a lot of people look at as far as being able to stop at South Pittsburgh, because South Pittsburgh runs to that region the whole time. But it's going to be good for South Pittsburgh because, I mean, they're not getting, much, I mean, not a ton of competition in the region, because this could get both teams ready really for the playoff runs that I'm sure both will be going through. So it should be a great, great atmosphere. And just anybody, Murphy, watching this show, make the trip and support not just your team, but high school football in general. But another reason why I want to have you on, Jake, is just kind of the Team FYN Sports, right? You've I've known you a short time, but I've seen your name on a lot of articles on the website and doing the play-by-play for Murphy football. So kind of tell us how you got started, kind of what all Team FYN Sports can bring to the table, and we'll have a couple things playing as we're talking here.
Yeah, I started a couple years ago working here at Fetcher News, and we kind of started. They had only been known for just North Georgia high school sports and things like that. So, being from North Carolina and obviously Western North Carolina being so close to East Tennessee, we wanted to kind of expand into those areas, and so that's what we're trying to do right now. So we're obviously pretty getting our footing in Western North Carolina, but we want to find kind of our place in the Southeast Tennessee market, and you've done a great job with kind of helping us get us established over in that area. I mean, like you talk about it every week. There's just great football in Southeast Tennessee and in this part of the state, and we want to do our best to kind of highlight and promote those athletes in the most positive way possible, and just shed a positive light on kind of all the things from athletic directors to coaches to players to middle school teams, and just I feel like kind of in our area as a whole, kind of the rural area more so than anything may get overlooked by the big media and the big names and things like that. But I don't know. It's been fun. It's been a fun ride. But I mean, I want to thank you for what you've done in helping us get over into Southeast Tennessee area.
The highlights, not highlights, but kind of an overview of the three shows that run back to back to back on every Thursday night. Obviously, starting off with Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly, moving into your neck of the woods with Inside the SMC, and then kind of finishing up with the North Georgia High School Kickoff Show in North Georgia with Tim Towle and company. So is that something I think you mentioned earlier, but I kind of ask you this again? How important is that to have not just the North Georgia presence, but going in and having specific shows not only for Western North Carolina and North Georgia, but Southeast Tennessee as well?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, I get texts and we see Facebook messages and comments and things like that all the time, just from parents, grandparents, even people like me and you that aren't really that connected to the things that are going on, but also like to stay in the loop about what's happening. And I think that's been great. It's been good for, especially in Western North Carolina, because that's the most immediate feedback that I get in Western North Carolina. It's been good for the community. They love chiming in. They love seeing what Brandon Stevens, my co-host on Inside the Smoky Mountain Conference, what we have to say, how foolish we make ourselves look sometimes, because we give out, not sure if you guys do, but we give out our predictions and picks as to what we think is going to happen each week. And we keep a running tally of that. But yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's been great for our company, kind of just expanding in the area into these different areas.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I think people kind of forget is like, the last thing that kind of brings communities together and has been around for a while is high school football, right? I mean, whether it's, Murphy Bulldogs or the South Pittsburgh Pirates, or, I'll give Tim's Fannin County Rebels some love. I mean, just it can be, from the McCaulays of the world that are, the upper echelon of Division II in Tennessee and the success they have at that level, all the way down to 1A South Pittsburgh, right? Everything in between. I mean, it doesn't matter kind of what it is. High school football is the glue that can hold communities together for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. And one thing that I wanted to say while I was on here is if you are watching, or you've got a brother or a sister or a cousin or somebody that loves high school football and might want to try their hand at being a sports journalist or covering one of these high school teams for us in the Southeast Tennessee area, we're looking to grow in that aspect too. Friday nights, we send reporters out to as many places as we can. They watch the game, they take pictures, take notes, and then Saturday morning they're on their computer typing up an article to post it so that everybody can see, kind of a detailed run through of what happened in that game on Friday night. So if anybody watching, listening is interested in that, just reach out to us, whether that be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or through email or whatever. We'd love to have you, make you part of the team. We do internships also with schools. So if you're in school, we can get you paid tax free. So that's always a good thing.
I mean, you can't beat that these days. For these young people out there, enjoy the tax free while you can before you get too old and have to pay it like us, right, Jake? So, that's how I got started. I had to take communication classes when I was in college, and looking for an internship, and I just happened to get an internship over at Talk Radio 102.3, and was working the Saturday morning local programming shifts, being there at 6 a.m, and ultimately that led to you being asked to do the Red Zone on Friday nights, and just proud to be a part of that. And that's how I got my foot in the door doing high school football. Right, I was going to these games on Fridays as a student, and just kind of use that to kind of get in the door. And it's a part-time. It's not a part-time thing, but it's kind of a seasonal job for me. But I still love doing it in addition to my full-time job. But everybody's got to start somewhere. So I definitely recommend anybody out there, whether they're looking to, stay involved. I mean, because, and this is good for the student athletes too, because if they don't go play at the next level, or if they're not get the opportunity, they can still be involved in something that they love doing, and while still, contributing, to whatever the platform is. So definitely recommend reaching out to that. And, it doesn't have to be an elaborate, 2-page article, right? I mean, it's not, it's everybody has to craft their style, and just getting content together. That's the main thing. And people are going to absorb it in this area. Jake, this. So definitely recommend doing that for sure.
Yeah. You mentioned it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Actually, if you've ever tried your hand at recapping a football game or writing sports articles, it's very easy to fill up a page, and we don't even require that. We just want you to paint on paper a picture of what happened, and take a couple pictures, and that's it. We just want to do our best to be and have our hands in as many places as possible, and have the Team FY Sports brand in as many places as possible. So yeah, we're definitely excited about the things that are happening in Southeast Tennessee.
No doubt, man. Well, buddy, we got a couple minutes left. Just kind of do the social media plugs. How can they follow your content and the website and all that good stuff? And I mentioned it, during the beginning of the show, the FYNTV.com and the app, kind of how everybody can absorb the content that Team FYN Sports has.
Yeah. Just our website is just fetchyournews.com, and then you can / Team FYN Sports and find everything there from the 8 counties that we cover in Tennessee, and the ones we cover in North Carolina, the ones we cover in North Georgia. You can find everything there from just up-to-date news. If you go just to Fetch Your News website, and then if you go to Team FYN Sports through the Fetch Your News website, you can find all of the recap articles and coaches' interviews and things like that we post. But the biggest thing, and I think the most fun thing, if you do want to consume content, is our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We have coaches' interviews on there all the time. That's where we talk about our players of the week the most and things like that. And on Twitter, the main account is just at Team FYN Sports. Same thing on Instagram and Facebook. It's just at Team FYN Sports. But we're getting into the broadcast game, and we have been for a couple of years. So we're getting a good kind of buildup of games that we've done in the past, and we've got some really, really good high school football games back for rewatch on FYNTV.com. And that's also where you can go back and rewatch week 1, week 2 of the Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly show, and Inside the SMC and the North Georgia High School Football Kickoff show. You can go watch all of those back on playback on FYNTV.com. And like I mentioned, Friday night, you can also watch Murphy take on South Pittsburgh if you can't make it. If you're unable, Brandon Stevens and myself will be live on the call for that big heavyweight matchup. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, Jake, thank you again for taking the time, brother. Can't wait to hear your experience at South Pitt here next week. And thanks again for taking time. We'll talk soon, all right?
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on, Jeff.
All right. Jake West, sports director from Team FYN Sports. On the flip side of this break, we'll be announcing the 97 Sports Promotions Performance of the Week. So stay tuned. This is Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly presented by Team FYN Sports.
97 Sports Promotions specializes in custom football mini helmets for any occasion. From gifts, player awards, banquet decor, and more, 97 Sports Promotions has you covered. And coaches, if you're looking for premium full-size decals for your game day helmets, the team at 97 Sports Promotions can do that too. Visit 97sportspromotions.com or call 865-318-1242. 97 Sports Promotions, proud sponsor of the Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly Performance of the Week.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
Chattanooga Funeral Home, Crematory, and Florist, a dignity memorial provider, has been dedicated to service since 1933. With 4 funeral home locations, including East Chapel in East Ridge, North Chapel in Hickson, Valley View Chapel in Ottawa, and East Brainerd Chapel in East Brainerd, along with 2 cemeteries at Hamilton Memorial Gardens on Highway 153 in Hickson and Chattanooga Memorial Park in Red Bank. Call 423-698-2541 or visit their website at ChattanoogaFuneralHome.com. Celebrate your life or that of a loved one with a funeral and memorial service befitting the life lived. Chattanooga Funeral Home, Crematory, and Florist.
Are you looking for expertly decorated gifts you'll love with your custom design or logo? Graphic Expressions in Blue Ridge is your go-to place for custom apparel, accessories, gifts, and much more. Graphic Expressions is located at 3640 East 1st Street in Blue Ridge, or give them a call at 706-946-4605. Graphic Expressions, unrivaled customer service, pure brand awesomeness.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Gary Thacker Insurance is a family-owned and locally operated insurance agency that has been proudly serving North Georgia and the Chattanooga area for 25 years. If you're looking for an agency that is family-oriented, lives and works in your community, and is focused on making insurance less complicated, give my friend Jeremy Thacker and the team at Gary Thacker Insurance a call at 706-866-8283 or visit them on the web at GaryThackerInsurance.com. Gary Thacker Insurance, protecting what's important.
Welcome back to Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly. I want to thank Jake West once again from Team FYN Sports. He is the sports director over there, for joining us to kind of look ahead to Murphy at South Pittsburgh and kind of telling us everything going on over at Team FYN Sports. And I do want to recommend again that if you're looking to kind of get your foot in the door in sports, whether it's writing or putting stuff on the shows or whatever, definitely reach out to the social media platforms. Again, that was on Twitter at Team FYN Sports or fetchyournews.com. You can find the Team FYN Sports tab from there. So definitely recommend, if you're interested in that, doing that. Internships again are available there. So that's how I got my foot in the door doing the radio thing, and that's definitely a good experience there for sure. So anyway, before we announce our this week's 97 Sports Promotions Performance of the Week, I want to remind you all once again, if there's a player or team, it could be a team effort, right? If it was a team, a big win, historical mark, whatever, who you thought had the best game every week, performance every week, you can nominate that team or player on our Twitter at SETN Weekly, or use the hashtag 97POTW. So definitely do that. And right now we will definitely announce that our Performance of the Week award winner this week. We can go ahead and pull that graphic and video package. Is Aiden Wilson, the defensive player for the McMinn County Cherokees, and he had a big night for his team. Some of these highlights here against Ray County were on his Huggle page, so I want to thank them for providing those. Aiden Wilson, 16 total tackles, 11 of those were solo, including 1 tackle for loss right there. So, again, congratulations, and once again to Aiden Wilson, defensive end for those McMinn County Cherokees, and he'll be getting a custom 97 Sports Promotions mini helmet trophy with the show logo on the back and his name and McMinn County on the side, and the performance date where he had it, which was this past Friday night. So once again, congratulations, Aiden, to you at McMinn County for being this week's 97 Sports Promotions Performance of the Week. Once again, right there, you can see right here on the screen ways to nominate your player for the award. Again, go to at SETN Weekly or use the hashtag 97POTW. And we'll kind of go into that last slide there too. It's on social media, on Twitter mostly. If you, again, like I said, you can go to at SETN Weekly on Twitter. That is the show account. Or if you want to follow just my content that I post throughout the weekend on Friday nights, it is at the Jeff Kate. Again, both of these are on Twitter, and you'll find all kinds of high school football content. Once again, I'll be at Central and Hickson. That's a big region game over at Hickson High School on Friday. They're going to be hosting the Central Pounders, and both teams 2-1 going into that game, undefeated at 1-0 in the region. So a lot at stake there to kind of keep the their momentum going in early in this season. So, but just one more quick note before we get out of here tonight. The Tennessee Associated Press has these weekly prep football polls, right? I'll make sure and have the graphics for this next week. It was late in the day when I got these, but just real quick, in 6A, Bradley Central's ranked number 9 in the 6A poll this week. Aiden Wilson's McMinn County Cherokees, number 9 in the 5A poll. Red Bank coming in at number 6 in 4A. Two somewhat local teams in our area, Sweetwater and Loudon, are 9 and 10 in the 3A poll. Towner, we mentioned them quite a bit tonight after their 41-0 Marion County victory. They moved up to number 2 in the state in 2A. And like we mentioned earlier with Jake, those South Pittsburgh Pirates are number 6 in 1A. That's the public school classifications there. But and then in Division 2, in the Division 2 AA class, Boyd Buchanan, after their win at K to stay undefeated, they are number 4 in the state in Division 2 AA. And the Division II AAA schools, Baylor and McCallie, they are taking up the number 2 and 3 spots. Baylor coming in at number 2 in Division II AAA, and McCallie, after their loss, goes down to number 3. So we'll have those every week as well. That's voted on by the media members in the state, across the state of Tennessee. So definitely another interesting way to see kind of how our local teams stack up with teams across the state, because there's a lot of heavy hitters, like in the 3A with Alcoa, and in 6A with Maryville, going all the way into 6A as well with Oakland, who is the defending state champions there. So once again, I want to thank you all so much for joining us here on this week's edition of Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly. We'll be back next week with another edition, more region games, and just building toward some incredible matchups coming up in this later in this month. Region races will be heating up, which means playoff positions will be heating up as well. Once again, hit us up on these Twitter accounts here at SETN Weekly and at the Jeff Kate. But once again, thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly. But stay tuned for Inside the SMC and the North Georgia High School Kickoff Show coming up next from Team FYN Sports. Have a good night.
97 Sports Promotions specializes in custom football mini helmets for any occasion. From gifts, player awards, banquet decor, and more, 97 Sports Promotions has you covered. And coaches, if you're looking for premium full-size decals for your game day helmets, the team at 97 Sports Promotions can do that too. Visit 97sportspromotions.com or call 865-318-1242. 97 Sports Promotions, proud sponsor of the Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly Performance of the Week.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
Chattanooga Funeral Home, Crematory, and Florist, a dignity memorial provider, has been dedicated to service since 1933. With 4 funeral home locations, including East Chapel in East Ridge, North Chapel in Hickson, Valley View Chapel in Ottawa, and East Brainerd Chapel in East Brainerd, along with 2 cemeteries at Hamilton Memorial Gardens on Highway 153 in Hickson and Chattanooga Memorial Park in Red Bank. Call 423-698-2541 or visit their website at ChattanoogaFuneralHome.com. Celebrate your life or that of a loved one with a funeral and memorial service befitting the life lived. Chattanooga Funeral Home, Crematory, and Florist.
Are you looking for expertly decorated gifts you'll love with your custom design or logo? Graphic Expressions in Blue Ridge is your go-to place for custom apparel, accessories, gifts, and much more. Graphic Expressions is located at 3640 East 1st Street in Blue Ridge, or give them a call at 706-946-4605. Graphic Expressions, unrivaled customer service, pure brand awesomeness.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Gary Thacker Insurance is a family-owned and locally operated insurance agency that has been proudly serving North Georgia and the Chattanooga area for 25 years. If you're looking for an agency that is family-oriented, lives and works in your community, and is focused on making insurance less complicated, give my friend Jeremy Thacker and the team at Gary Thacker Insurance a call at 706-866-8283 or visit them on the web at GaryThackerInsurance.com. Gary Thacker Insurance, protecting what's important.
97 Sports Promotions specializes in custom football mini helmets for any occasion. From gifts, player awards, banquet decor, and more, 97 Sports Promotions has you covered. And coaches, if you're looking for premium full-size decals for your game day helmets, the team at 97 Sports Promotions can do that too. Visit 97sportspromotions.com or call 865-318-1242. 97 Sports Promotions, proud sponsor of the Southeast Tennessee High School Football Weekly Performance of the Week.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K.